Howdy, get in here. How's everyone doing? Take a minute, as usual, a couple minutes to let people trickle on in. Say hi. Let us know how you're doing, where you're watching from. Come on in, come on in. How is everyone doing today? Howdy, nice to see you, Daniel, always. Hi, Wayne, from the Spanish grognard of your channel. You are, man. I love it. I love it. You talked about this before. Remember, a while back now, but I was saying, one of the few places, but one of the places I wouldn't mind visiting outside of the United States is Spain for sure. But 7 p.m. near Barcelona. All right. So it's noon here, Central Time in Minnesota, our new house in Minnesota, as opposed to Missouri, where we used to live. So same time zone, just a lot farther north. It is a nice day today, actually. Not as cold as it's been. All the snow on the ground melted, so we are snow-free right now. Hopefully we'll get some snow before Christmas here, which is such a change from Missouri. Living in Missouri, I did not own a shovel. So we had lived up here. Right? I was born up here. I was born in Wisconsin. So I bake Packers. The other way. Packers, Badgers. Up there you can see football. Wisconsin teams, right? So big fan. But born in Wisconsin, then mainly grew up in Minnesota, but then moved to Missouri and lived there for about 10 years with my wife. And she was originally from Southwest Missouri. And that far down, we didn't even own a shovel. Like it would snow, but it would melt right away or melt within a day. I think maybe the worst case would be like a cold snap. It'd last a couple days, but it was a lot warmer in Southwest Missouri than it is here. I'll say that for sure. So good to see you. Howdy. Tim ? From Poland. Frankie, great to see you. I'm doing well, doing very well. Enjoying the holidays so far. Lots of holiday movies with the family. We have a event tomorrow at the VFW. So my in-laws are both veterans and do a lot of stuff with the VFW here in town where we live. And they have so I guess it's the Army Navy game, which I didn't serve, but the big deal to them. They were both Army, so it's a big deal at the club. Call it right, the VFW, and they'll be having food, watching the game, drinks, of course. So me and my wife and our son Vern will bring Vern. Everyone loves to see a kid, right? So we love to bring Vern to events like that there, and not just for our in-laws, but for everyone else to see him, spend a little time with him, and dote on him a little bit, pinch his cheeks, that kind of stuff. So he does take after me and have chubby cheeks. So that's for sure. Of course, Duca Joe from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Great to see you. I haven't been to Puerto Rico. My wife. So I was doing a training, long police training thing that I could not get out of. Like I had to do it. And my wife won a trip to Puerto Rico, to a resort there, right? So it wasn't just any random place. She was at like an all-inclusive resort, right? But through work, she won it, and she could bring somebody. I could not go. I could not miss this training. And so my wife had to bring her stepmom, which they had a blast and everything. But it's like, I can't believe that she got to go, Puerto Rico and go to a resort, right? And I didn't even get to go but I could not get out of the training. It was like a career thing where if I missed it, then it would have been good. So, but one day I'll get down there. Of course, appreciate that. You said that last time too. Appreciate that. Montgomery, Alabama. Way down south, just across the border. 7 p.m. in Europe. Okay, so Tim in Poland, right? Magnus, of course. Frankie shovels twice a day here in Montana. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know the snowfall totals for like Montana versus Minnesota. I know that you are even farther north, especially because where I'm in Minnesota, it's southeast Minnesota. So you're for even, I think probably, I guess depending maybe in Montana where it would be, but I'm guessing you're probably even a little bit farther north. And I don't know how it impacts with like the plains with snow, if that means like there's more or less snow. I mean, we're not close enough to the Great Lakes, and we're not on the right side really to get like that snow effect from the Great Lakes. I know people in like Buffalo, southern Canada, Michigan get a lot of snow, a lot more snow, even though it's colder here overall, at least a little bit colder. It's not a contest, trust me. I don't want to win that contest, but so we get a fair amount of snow here for sure. Like so, I used to live up this way. There's definitely a lot of snow. We have ice fishing trip. I always go ice fishing every winter, and third weekend of January we'll go to over to Wisconsin, and then not northern Wisconsin, maybe like I don't know, third of the way up the state, so not all the way north, but up there a little ways, probably a couple hours north of here, just Wisconsin side instead of Minnesota side. And we'll go ice fishing. Love going ice fishing. We should go more. Now that we live up here, I should be able to, and hopefully we'll be able to. But when we lived in Missouri, I always had to travel all the way up, right? So it was like 10-hour drive to get to here, where my in-laws live, and then another couple hours to go where we would go ice fishing. I got some friends that come with, so it's kind of a family. Started as a family thing on my wife's side, but then I have friends that come. We go ice fishing. So Cape Canaveral, Royce. What's the temperature down there? Bill from Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland. 1 p.m., huh? Just ahead of me here. Royce from Kalispell originally. I don't know what that is. Is that a town in Florida, maybe? Kalispell? Wait, come on in, everybody. Come on in. Woo wee. So, I mean, I'll be honest. So, like in Missouri, when it was like the summer, man, it got hot and humid. Now, been to Florida. I went to Dice Tower Convention. I know I haven't been to a Wargame convention. I wasn't with Dice Tower Convention. Don't judge me. It was a while back. I went to Dice Tower Con in Orlando, Florida in July. And it was over like the 4th of July weekend. Miserably hot and humid. Too much. Makes me think of Missouri in the summer, where it gets that heat and that humidity when it's, hovering around 100 and it's humid and it's just like you don't want to do anything outside. That's not like nice warmth. Not to me anyway. Obviously I'm a bigger guy. So like that's too hot, right? Like warmish is nice, a little bit of sun, but man, like that Missouri sun, and imagine the same probably in Florida or worse, whatever. But that Missouri sun, we would put out like say like garden flags, you put them, hang them out for a sports team or just something that says, "Hey, welcome to our home," whatever, right? Those little flags, probably like I don't know, 18 inches by 10 inches, something like that. If we put it out at the beginning of summer, by the end of summer with the sun shining on it, and not even 100%, right? It was like once it got past the top of the roof of the house and the sun's coming down on the flag, so half a day, it would bleach that flag and it would be bleached out. You don't really get that as much here. The sun's just not as strong. Even in the summer, it gets a little bit hot on and off, right? Hot days, but it's just that Missouri sun would bleach things. That was a little miserable, but definitely gonna miss it in the middle of winter here when I'm out there shoveling, which I got to shovel once already. Like I said, my shovel I didn't own for 10 years. I went and bought one after we bought our house like a couple weeks. And I was like, I better buy a shovel. I bought one, and then like a week later, it snowed enough that it was cold, so I could tell the snow was staying. So I was able to actually shovel. And kind of felt good. Again, don't ask me about that again a month from now or in the middle of January. Thomas J.S. says, hello, Wayne. Howdy. Nice game shelves. Are they custom made or IKEA or something? Nope. They're so they are like, I know, like I forget what the IKEA version is called. These are not IKEA. There's like an IKEA version people love. Calyx, is that it or something? Anyway, these are much cheaper. They are I just got them from Target. So Target, and I think probably other big box retailers maybe has similar. And you can buy these cubes. Now, you might make sure you get the 13-inch cubes. That way you can fit. You can see like, border reavers, right? Like 100 of the GMT boxes up here. See how like close to the top there. If you get the, I think it's either 10 or 11. I think it's 10, like 10 and 13. Then there may be other sizes as well, or 9 maybe, 9-inch. Anyway, I bought one cube. Didn't realize it wouldn't fit them. And you can buy them in all sizes. So like I have like the one that's directly behind me. is, and I have some stuff in the way, sorry, is actually 3x3, right? So it has 9 separate cubes. The one up here you can see obviously is 2x2. There's another 2x2 over there. And then I think I have 3x3s next to each other. So this all came from our old house in Missouri. Then I have one other one. It doesn't really fit in here, unfortunately. Just the way I did the setup, I did it a little different too. I had my my old house in Missouri. I used a bedroom. So this isn't legally a bedroom. It's in the basement. You can kind of see the window up here. And I know when I film my videos, when I do like the intro, and you can see my face from the recording table right here. You can see the like window and probably maybe see my car out here, but it's not technically a bedroom, right? So like legally anyway. So I did it, and it's a little bit bigger than my old bedroom, the bedroom I was in Missouri. And so how I set it up was I wanted to do the recording studio table, and I'll probably do like a quick little tour video. I've talked about this of this new studio, not once it gets going here. I want to do a couple more things to it. But like I have a mount on the wall that holds the camera mount, the arm. So I have like an arm, like articulating arm you can move around that the camera's on. And that's actually on an arm on the wall too, right? So really cool setup for me as being able to make videos. Excuse me, but when I have this set up this way, then I have the table against the wall with that arm right overhead. In Missouri, I had it set up where I had the arm like attached to another table, and then the table's actually in front of some shelves. So I wanted to get those games off the shelves. I had to move the table around. It was a big mess. Now, this table right here, I just put up. This is like, I'm going to consider this like my temporary table. So I have like the recording table / play war games on. This one, I can do other war games, or I can do non-war games that I don't make videos for, right? Because I play other games besides war games. I like strategy style games, some fantasy games, science fiction games, a little bit of Ameritrash style, or maybe like fantasy card games, which is a new one I just picked up this Aventuria that I'm just learning, just playing, having some fun with actually. But so this table I just put up, I'll pop that. This is just a cloth over it, right? Take that off. It's a folding table. Fold it, boom, put it away. It takes a minute, and then I have full access to all my shelves. So. Bill, knee replacement 3 days ago. Plenty of time to watch some gaming vids and do some solo wargaming. Oh man. Well, hope recovery is going nicely, Bill, and hopefully you'll be on your feet in no time. But in the meantime, yeah, gaming videos, solo wargaming. Why not get into it? Wayne, you don't call it all right. Good to see you, Kilroy. Oh my gosh, didn't I ban you already? I thought I did a permanent ban on you. You must have slipped through crack again. That's all right. Welcome, of course. Old friend from Missouri. Yeah, and we talked about that a little bit. Is like you mentioned that in a video. So Kilroy was here. Good channel to check out. Solitaire Wargames and other games. We lived in an hour apart in Missouri, and then now I moved to Minnesota, and so now it's like we didn't get a chance to meet, but that's what happens, I guess, right? I want to get to a gaming convention, a wargaming convention, one of these days. Ryan Lindsay says, "Greetings from Memphis. You have a terrific channel, sir." I appreciate that. I've said this many times. I love war games. I love sharing the passion with people. I don't care how many times someone says, "Hey, you made a mistake in a video," or "You shouldn't have done that," or I don't know, "You mumbled in your video." Yeah, I did. Sorry, I'm not a professional at this. I'm just someone that has fun doing it, and I really like showing off these games. So, oh no, Magnus. Yeah, oh no. Where I said, "Hey, is that Android Netrunner any good?" I haven't played it. So the last card, like I said, this card game here, obviously Aventuria. I still have, and you can't see it because I have this table in the way now. But the hero, I have Hero Quest. Well, that's not a card game. That's right, the old kind of miniature one. But the new version of Hero Quest comes with an app that plays the DM, so you can play Hero Quest solo, and the DM run, and the app runs the DM. It actually works really well. Although I was talking to someone else recently, I think I'm gonna get away from that because playing that game, because the getting the miniatures in and out of the box, especially by myself, is starting to become kind of a pain. And just not as much fun. Not as much fun to mess with all the miniatures and everything like that. It's like, so I'm trying to go for more like maybe a card-based fantasy style game like that. Like, because I used to play D&D back in the day, right? Like Dungeons and Dragons, big part of my childhood. So missing kind of that connection, that sort of that feeling of that. So that's why I'm trying these games like Aventuria, which I'm just learning, which actually, so I guess it's like super popular in Germany. There's English cards, English game releases and all that, but there's a lot more content like in German, or maybe not content, I shouldn't say, but like maybe people that are fans of it, which is kind of a bummer because I'm really getting into it as I'm starting to play. I'm like, man, this is a lot of fun. Ooh, Magnus, that Mage Wars, that's kind of a lot though. That's kind of a heavier, because I don't want to do a super heavy game, solitaire game. I don't even play a lot of heavy war games solitaire, really. Daniel asks, may I ask, Wayne? Of course you can ask. Doesn't mean I'll answer though. If when playing games solo without a proper solitaire system, which way do you play? Both sides, Duca method, other. So I play both sides traditionally. So for example, a system and game that I've covered, a game that I'm doing on my channel right now, Conquering the Valley from Claude Whalen and China Bell Publishing, the American Civil War game, right? Stonewall Jackson's 1862 Valley campaign, the last two battles of it. That is it's a 2-player war game, right? It's hex encounter, 2-player war game. Now the activation in that game is card draw. So it's based on originally Blind Swords from Herman Luttman, which was chip pull. So very solitaire friendly in that way. But I just play both sides. Now, when you get to card games, if you're talking about like a card driven game, I probably won't play both sides unless there is a bot. So thinking of what's that one I covered in the beginning of this year? Flashpoint South China Sea. Really fun game, engine system. Not super thematic. Like you kind of put any theme on it, and it would fit. You're putting cubes right to influence areas and then closing them out. But a lot of fun, really fun game though, right? One of those ones where it's like, even though the theme could be anything, you just have fun playing the cards, trying to close out areas, competing with the bot. Bot's pretty well done. If it was me, like I wouldn't two-hand that, right? I wouldn't have two hands trying to influence areas, and that's too schizophrenic for me. Royce keep asking about Warfighter Fantasy. So I have the full, you can actually just see it right there. So I had the all-in pledge on Kickstarter, which that one is I purchased that myself. DVG does send me review copies occasionally, but that one was I purchased all of Warfighter Fantasy myself, the all-in pledge. But can't really tell, but it's in plastic still. I haven't cracked it open yet. One day I will. All right, so almost 20 minutes in, we haven't gotten to the topic of the day. Topic of the day. What is the topic of the day? Well, you know what it is. It is solitaire war games that you should check out and maybe buy. I'm not telling you to buy something. I never want to do that. I always want to say, hey, this is something maybe I like, I'm interested in, and that's what my review is, right? I give negatives, which I do always. I do an overview. I do negatives, right? Pros, cons, but I always start with cons because I want to get the negatives out of the way. I want you to hear what I didn't like, what I thought could be better right away. And I tell you what I liked, and I give you my final thoughts, right? I do it with every game. Now, if I love a game and I think it's close to perfect, no game's perfect, close to perfect, I may have very few cons, right? And my final thoughts may be basically glowing praise, but that's still going to be my honest thoughts about the game. So I never want to tell you guys, hey, buy this for sure. But I like to say, hey, if you like this, you like a certain type of game, this one may be for you. Or if you like a certain style, this is going to be one for you. That's why I like to describe them. So that way you really can tell, besides just me saying, yeah, this game is fun, buy it. Well, it doesn't really tell you anything about it. It just tells you that I like it. So unfortunately, a lot of the sales looks like they've ended for different wargame companies. Revolution Games, I think their sales over with. I think of a couple other ones that I was looking at that I was checking when they had sales. Like, oh man, the sales I think are over now on some of these, which is a bit of a bummer. But there are plenty left. Don't worry. So we'll look at them. And before we look at that, I'll address one last thing. So Magnus says he likes Mage Wars better than Magic. I loved Magic the Gathering. I have Magic cards right somewhere around here. Oh, well. Whoop. Right above my shiny head there. So it's a whole bunch of Magic cards. You see some mats up there, all that good stuff. So I do play on and off. My old department I worked at, there was a couple younger officers who would get together at a local gaming store and play some Magic. So we just had some fun with it. But anyway, Solitaire War Games 2023 holiday season. And if you are watching this after the fact and you skipped all the way ahead to this part, welcome. But otherwise, let's look at some games over here. Move this stuff around a little bit. All right. So what are we looking at? Let's get, boom, first one. Let's look at Legion Wargames. So you guys know, and there's a couple things. So I'm going to try to focus on Solitaire Wargames, Solitaire design, right? Solitaire bot, solo design, Stage of Siege style, Herman Luttman design, right? Or, there's many others. Steve Dixon design, narrative driven, right? Steve Dixon, Greg Smith, that type of thing. So we're going to look at, but I will bring up some two-player games, two-player war games that I feel are just very solo friendly, and I love soloing, and you may like soloing as well. So first off, we got Legion Wargames here. So I just did a series. On Velikie, Luki, Stalingrad of the North here. Look at this. So, and it's just one of those things. If you may notice on my videos, I've had a couple people ask like on prices of games. I don't comment on prices on my regular videos because you never know. First off, if I get a review copy, which a lot of my games are not, a lot of my games I purchase from money from the channel or my own money or whatever. But sometimes I do get review copies. So who am I to say, right, like, you should buy this game and it costs $60 and this, that? Because it also depends on what you're going to buy it from the publisher. Or you're going to buy it off Amazon, or you're going to buy it off, someone else. I mean, it just depends, right? You're buying from a person. I mean, your local gaming store. Or do you live overseas? Do you live in the United States? Where are you and how much is it going to cost you? So I don't normally like to comment on price, but we'll comment on price in this video because we are looking at games for sale and kind of what their costs are going to be. So with Legion Wargames, which coincidentally, and I've been a fan of them for years, but coincidentally in a lot of their games, right? Coincidentally, they are just down the river from me. They're like half an hour away. So I've talked to Randy, the owner of the company, a couple times on me touring his operation. And one day I'll get down there and maybe I'll make a video or something. But anyway, so first off, I can definitely say, hopefully it'll pull up here for you guys. There we go. All right, so Velikie Luki is one that is a hex encounter game. Very simple. You can see it is only it's $16 from their website. Again, I'm going to talk about cost, price, but I'll talk about what the prices are here. $16 marked down from 20. It's even full price. It's $20. It's a small game, right? It calls it a mini game. There is, you can see it's just a handful of counters. I think it's 64 counters, small 17 by 11 inch map. And I did a full series of videos on this game. So I did, oh, well, here you can see. I guess Randy posted my videos. Looks like, or at least my unboxing, my recon, and then my overview review. So go to the Legion Wargames website. You can see my videos on it. But, and there's a written review from Etienne Michaud. But it's a two-player game, right? It's a classic hex encounter war game, but it is really solitaire friendly. There's no hidden information. It's just fun topic, and because of the nature of the battle, it is Operation Mars, winter of 42, going into 43. Soviets are on the offensive here, right? And you have German defenders at Velikie Luki, and then the city here I don't even try to pronounce. And you have the Soviets entering here on the east side of the map, right? You have the Germans entering in from the west. And the Soviets are pushing. They're pushing. You have fun. You kind of have this rough terrain north and south, and then it's open in the middle. But that's where you have, the city itself, which is actually obviously defensive bulwark. So really fun little game. Super quick, easy to play. Sorry if my phone keeps buzzing here. Popular. All right. Let me turn the ringer off. Okay. So that is a good one to recommend. I would recommend that to people who want to have a solitaire hex encounter. It's not true solitaire. You just play both sides, but simple, easy to learn. 6 pages of rules, 60 counters, 17 by 11 map. You can't go wrong with this one. Velikie Luki, Stalingrad North from Legion Wargames. Also from Legion, I like to look at, so if you like narrative driven games, so we talk about Greg Smith, The Hunters, Hunted, right? You look at Target for Today, Target for Tonight. So Skyhawk, Rolling Thunder, 1966. Now this is one that I did not know if anyone else any videos on here. No, it doesn't look like it. I only did an unboxing, only did a recon on my channel. But this is a narrative-driven solitaire war game, right? You are flying a Skyhawk in Vietnam, right? And you're conducting these bombing missions. You can see, hopefully, see some little bit of graphics here. Lovely, big, beautiful counters. Map you can see is smaller size, right? You start off, you're launching from the carrier. You're going maybe refueling, depending on where you're going. Support attacks, target approach, target attack, outbound to carrier. You're dealing with NVA, anti-aircraft guns. You're dealing with, the SAM radar, SAM missiles, possible MiG interception. You can have, escorts possibly. So it's actually one of the lighter narrative-driven games. There's still plenty of charts and everything, but one of the lighter narrative-driven games. But it's straight solitaire, right? Medium-high complexity, they say. I don't think I'd put it medium-high. I mean, if you consider Target for Today high, medium-high, right? Then this is going to be easily a medium. Maybe not a medium-low, although close. I would say right between medium-low and medium. I definitely recommend it, though. Like I said, I only have the recon, the unboxing video. I didn't get to any playthrough videos or anything like that or review, but I do recommend it. I have played it enough to recommend it. And you guys jump in with any other games for them, especially if we're talking about a specific publisher. You want to see any games they may have. I'll be honest, I've played a number of Legion games, but also there's plenty that I haven't, I either can't speak to or, can't. Oh, and by the way, Skyhawk is $55, normally $60. What is it? Normally $76 at $55. Is that a sale price? Is that a holiday price? I'm not sure, but I know that I think that's a good price for a solitaire game with good component quality. Looking at, and they have, if you see a special offer, so they do have discounts of games. So take an additional $15 off already discounted prices on each of these games. You have to use this code though, AGC15. But here's a small list. I have not played. The only one I played is Fire on the Mountain. I talked to Randy a little bit when it was in development, and I did a little bit of went over the rule book, played it a little bit, offered some feedback, something I don't do a ton of for people. I get asked a lot more, and I don't have time for it, and I don't want to do a disservice, right? Try to do that and then just not live up to what, I say I could do. So I don't even try to usually. But Fire on the Mountain is an American Civil War game, not solitaire. That's straight 2-player. And it's solo enough, friendly enough, more standard activation, things like that. But it is on sale along with a couple other ones. And I believe some of these are solitaire maybe. I haven't played any of these other than Fire on the Mountain. So, and there's some ones I'd love to check out. One day I will. Aces of Valor, solitaire game, World War I aerial combat. Yeah, David says I have Skyhawk, haven't tried it yet. It looks pretty good. It's good. It's fun. It's definitely not the most replayable of some of these games, right? Because it's basically the one kind of aircraft with a couple different armament setups. So yeah, there's gonna be a point where you may be like, I don't know, I'm a little bit over this. I could understand that, but if you have it, or if you're interested in narrative-driven games, it's a good one. It's a good one. All right, so I think it's it for Legion. Oh, and then one more thing, I guess Picket Duty, online price $60, so not a huge sale on that, but I can't know why it's not showing up. Hang on. There we go. So Picket Duty here. Picket Duty is one that I don't think I've ever cut out on my channel. This was one of those ones that I started playing, right? One of those war games I started playing before I ever had a YouTube channel. And again, narrative driven, Steve Dixon, but you actually, instead of an aircraft, like so many of them are, you are a destroyer. You have a destroyer, right? You're captaining a destroyer. You're on picket duty. Okinawa, April 45. Kamikaze attacks. It is a fantastic narrative-driven game. I think really underrated. And now there's second editions out here. This is second edition. It's been out for a while, so it fixes a lot of the mistakes that the first edition had. So, all right. Let's look at. Let's go over to. Oh no, I have to add in the share screen. I didn't share it right. Boom, Worthington. Let's take a look at Worthington. So Worthington Publishing. I have so many great solitaire games from them. So many great Solitaire games from Worthington, and these are a lot of, Solitaire designed. They have some 2-player games that you can play Solitaire, but there's a lot of these that I would definitely recommend that I have played personally. So Cruel Necessity, that's one I just covered on my channel. Oh, and then I should say, so these prices here, these are not the actual accurate prices, excuse me. For the sale, you have to go. So if you go home, so just go to worthingtonpublisher.com. Holiday blowout sale. It's all the way through December 31st, so you got time. All in-stock games, except Bismarck and Waterloo Solitaire, are 25% off. Now, it is the board games, so not the book games. You click book games. No. It's this one right here, Worthington Old School Store. And again, not the Bismarck and Waterloo Solitaire. They're 25% off. No codes. It's automatically applied to checkout. That's a decent, and Christmas delivery. They can't guarantee it if it's orders placed on or after December 18th. So maybe before that, if not guaranteed. Because what is it, the 8th? Yeah, December 8th, as of this video being filmed here. So you got plenty of time. But Worthington, so many fantastic Solitaire games. Again, Cruel Necessity is one, this deluxe edition that they've published recently. I just covered on my channel full bunch of videos on Cruel Necessity. Such an excellent game. Very difficult, but a lot of fun, a lot of history in it, right? And I talked about it in my pros and cons of, like, the tactical battle part of it. You can see it up here on the top right of the board. Don't know if I love that. It's a little too random, but the rest of it, I mean, the game looks good. I don't even think this picture does it justice. I feel like the board looks a lot better on the table, and with the big counters and just lots of big counters. Just, yeah, there's not enough pictures on their website. There's more. The cards are really nice quality, linen finish style. They're easy to read, look good. Just a wonderful experience. A lot of history to it. Learned more about the English Civil War than I knew. I barely knew anything. So, there's some more, I guess, pictures down here. You can see some more stuff on it. But yeah, just highly recommend this one as well. Continuing to look through Worthington. You're going to look through Worthington here. And I know that there is, so Archie's War, one that, Battle for Guadalcanal, one I can recommend on the lighter side. Oh, and by the way, Cruel Necessity, if you're not aware, is a States of Siege style game. Originally from VPG, right? And this is the deluxe edition. Archie's War is there's cubes, but it's kind of cubes, but it's not really cube game. But you can see the board here. When you have, where is it? So markers, the board. Where is the? Yeah, here we go. So the Solitaire board here, because you can play a 2-player Solitaire, and the board is double-sided, I believe, right? And you have, this would be the Solitaire side. Yeah, because then this would be the 2-player side. And that's 2-player side, Solitaire side here. Oh no, you guys can't even see it. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. My bad. All right, so looking at Archie's War, Battle for Guadalcanal from Worthington, 2-player or Solitaire, quick playing, simple, lighter game. If you're looking for a heavy experience, this isn't for you. But if you want a lighter game, you're chucking some dice, you are fighting over these locations, and you just cannot lose any of them. It's not a like States of Siege style game. It's you have to hold the line 100%, or else you're going to lose the game. A lot of fun. Definitely a little bit of push your luck aspect to it. How you marshal your forces, where do you move your Marines around, trying to keep Vandegrift, getting the pluses. It's just, there's a lot. Air support, trying to build up air support, so that's going to help you out in the long run. It really fun, lighter, but a lot of fun. Archie's War, Battle for Guadalcanal. Definitely recommend that one. The other ones that I played that I can recommend. So Tarawa, 1943, played that one. Oh, and Archie's War I have videos on. So most of these I do, like I said. Soviet Dawn I do, Tarawa I do. Recommend basically all these that I've done for them. These are good games, and these are good games that they're either new, reprinting deluxe editions of, such as Soviet Dawn, right, or Cruel Necessity, or Tarawa is a newer design on its own, Archie's War a newer design. Tarawa, super difficult. So I would say much more difficult than something like Archie's War. So Tarawa, 1943. Yeah, this one's really difficult. I'm like having trauma thinking about it. So there's the board. You're landing your Marines. Bloody Tarawa, landing your Marines, trying to take the beachheads, moving on in. The Japanese, they're going to hold strong. You're going to suffer a lot of casualties. You have your different divisions. You have your regiments here, right? So your 2nd Marine Regiment, 6th Marine Regiment, 8th Marine Regiment. You have the cohesion rating. Some of these boxes here, you can kind of see you're keeping track of the cohesion of your regiments and your men, and it's cohesion fall, and that's where the push your luck aspect comes in. Is doing actions, you're spending cohesion. Just shows, hey, they're getting tired, they're taking casualties, they're going through their supplies, running out of maybe food, water, bullets, right? Beans and bullets. That's abstracted with the cohesion rating, which then you're losing that as you push and push, and it's a tough one though, man. Tarawa 94-3, tough one. Recommend it if you want a more difficult solitaire war game. Straight solitaire as well. Yeah, cards, nice cards. Everything looks it's really well done. Definitely check that one out. I have a bunch of videos on that one as well, of course. Soviet Dawn, that's a classic. Really beautifully done. Beautiful components. It's a deluxe edition of the original VPG game. Just beautiful. Soviet Dawn, Russian Civil War, 1918, 1921. Map just looks great. Big mounted map. Again, Worthington, all their games now are fantastic quality. Linen finished, beautiful cards, big mounted maps. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, right? So, and then if the gameplay matches, which in the case of Soviet Dawn, it definitely does. Classic one, obviously from Jaron Leveloff. So, I don't see enough. Well, I see a lot more about this game. I feel like before. I don't see as much about it lately, but he was reading for that. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't even. You can put in markers like that. You can see kind of the big counters. You can put them up in the stands. I just put them on the map flat, but it works great. Man, that's a good one. Somebody's going over some of these games makes me want to buy them. So anyway, games that I can recommend, right, that are currently on sale. That's what we're looking at. See, we'll check some of the comments from people here. Yeah, so Daniel says sales from some companies, great option. So because try to support the companies you can, right, when you can. Main problem for Europe is that without EU-friendly shipping, it is quite expensive to order directly from the companies, and I understand that completely. And I know it's funny maybe, but it's true. It's just where I'm experiencing it. So with this Aventuria game, not a war game, just a fantasy card game, but it's German based, and yes, there's English / printing American stuff here in America. Like I can buy a ton of stuff for it. Some stuff and a lot of the fan base, a lot of the kind of the extra accessories like mats and stuff like that, the neoprene mats. I'd love to get a neoprene mat for it. It's all in Europe and it's like not available in the US at all. And so having to try to purchase it is expensive. So I definitely can feel you in that aspect. War games for the most part, it's not too hard for me to buy a war game that I like and not have to spend a lot of money, but I get it. Ryan says, I've been enjoying Worthington's new Waterloo Solitaire Deluxe board game for a few weeks now. Really fun, light war game. You play 2 or 3 times an hour. And sometimes that hits, right? Sometimes you will love to be able to play a game and get it done with, and just like a couple, I would say a couple minutes, but 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know what I mean? Play a game over and over. Hidden Strike, American Revolution from Worthington. I don't know if it's available here, but it is actually. So we'll look at that in a second. That's one that is like that, right? You can just like play it. It's a card-based game, card-driven game-ish. Trying to close out areas, but super simple, super easy, but like it's fun too. It's just fun sometimes we do that. So I get it. David says, hey guys, sorry I'm late. No worries. I'm going to hassle you too much over it. Angel says, "Hi Wayne, greetings from Spain. Howdy. How mucho solitaire is a what? Fearful sacrifice. How much solitaire is a fearful sacrifice? What decisions you have to make for both sides? Thank you and Merry Xmas. Most fearful sacrifice, I assume, is what you're talking about. So fearful sacrifice works great solitaire because it's card activated. So what does that mean? Yes, there are decisions to be made during the course of the game when you're conducting the actual, right, like movement of units, right? How to move them, where to move them, conducting combat, choosing to conduct combat or not. Those are decisions you have to make. So you are having to make those decisions for both sides. However, when it comes to the activation part of the game, who's going to go, which formation is going to activate, and at what time, and or what special events are going to happen, those are all determined by a random card draw. You construct your deck at the beginning of each turn, and you're going to draw from that deck. You're going to activate a formation or have an event. You don't know which formation from which side, Union or Confederate, and what event. It's going to be a Union or Confederate event. What I like to do also in these games, by the way, instead of picking some of the events like you normally can, you can pick like a key event, they call it, and then you pick and put some randoms in. I put all random events. So I have my formation activation cards, and then I put in all random events. And so I don't know what I'm going to draw. And from that, right, then you do have to put your mind in, okay, I'm this side now. Now I'm this side. But I feel just that fact that you don't know who's going to activate, instead of sitting there thinking, uh-oh, what am I going to do? It's like you draw a card, and now you know, right, based on that card, what's going to happen or what can happen, and you play from there. So definitely not true solitaire. You are going to have to play both sides. But that random activation, that chit pull, or in this case, card draw of a most fearful sacrifice is a lot of fun. Steve says Arben Madison designs or States of Siege games are good calls. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why when we look at, right, I'm looking at Sylvie Dawn from Darren Leveloff. That's States of Siege, right? Or I'm looking at Cruel Necessity from John Welch, States of Siege system at its core. Now, all of these definitely have advanced beyond the most basic States of Siege system, so I can easily recommend them. They have a lot more to them than just like enemies move on a track and that's it. No, there's a lot more to the game. That is the core, though, so don't be mistaken. Steve says the most fearful sacrifice is okay solitaire, but the Pure Blind Sword series titles are better solo, in my opinion. I love Blind Swords more than voice cracked. I love Blind Swords more than the any of the other systems. I like the other systems. I really like the other systems. But Blind Swords is my favorite by far. I was talking about this on, was it Board Game Geek or Facebook, maybe somewhere, I don't know. But I was saying that I think Blind Swords is probably at least tied for my favorite two-player. I'd say it's tied with my favorite two-player rule set to play solitaire. And basically two-player rule set, period, at that end for me. The other one being Great Battles of History / simple Great Battles of History. All right. What else was Worthington? Oh, so I said we look at talked about it. Hidden Strike, American Revolution. Talk about that a little bit. So this is one card-driven game from Maurice Suckling. This is excellent, really quick playing. This is the type of one that when you have the game down and you can play it. And let me see this map. I really like this map. So it's got these colored cubes for the different forces, right? For obviously the brave Americans and their Indian allies, and then the tyrannical British. Sorry, guys, just teasing. So anyway, here you see this map. I really love this map. I love this map. I don't know what it is, man, but I really like it. And it's clean, it's simple, but I think it looks really good. And yes, it's card driven, right? So you take those cards and you play it to recruit Continental Army, militia. Where are you reinforcing? Which area? Also pretty dang difficult to win, but I don't know. Some games when they're hard to win, I get discouraged. I think maybe when they take really long to play. Think if a game takes 3 hours to play and I can never win it, I'm just like, I don't even want to play it. But if I play this, I can play a game and literally, I think I was down to when I was playing them, I played like 20 plus games. I think I was down to like 20 to 30 minutes each time, if that. like 25 minutes, something like that. I was flying through, and I would lose and lose and lose and lose, and then I won. And I loved it, and I'd lose and lose and lose and lose and lose before I won again, right? But it was still a lot of fun. This is Hidden Strike, American Revolution from Worthington, Resuckling and Worthington. Just a really fun one. Yeah, cards, clear, easy, very simple too, but it does have enough meat on it that, and just the way it plays. Again, this is one that, although I feel it's more thematic than, reminds me of Flashpoint South China Sea from Hero Buchanan and GMT. That vibe a little bit. And I'm not trying to say because all card-driven games are not the same. That'd be the same as saying like counter games are the same or Stage C Stage. They're not. There's a lot of differences. A little bit of feeling of that with this one, just that simple, quick playing sort of an engine of like draw, play. Like you just move super quick, right? You don't have to spend a lot of time thinking. If you do, I don't know if it's necessarily going to help you or not. Then a few that I have but have not played. Malta Besieged. Sorry, Steve. Worthington sent me that. I have not played it yet, so my apologies. I know. Might as well cancel the rest of the stream here. Chancellorsville, 1863. Marie Suckling again. Really fun. Oh, it's sold out, though. Oh, never mind. Well, I'm not even going to recommend it. So I'm trying to pick games that are in stock that you can potentially buy. Snow Chancellorsville, in magnificent style, Pickett's Charge. No controversy needed. Absolutely love that game. One of my favorite solitaire war games of all time. All right, I think we get away from there's some of these are maybe solo, but two-player Crusader Kingdoms also sold out. It's a fun one. A little bit underrated. I don't know. It'd be hard to recommend it 100%. It's probably one of the simplest games I've ever played. Simplest war games I've ever played. Period. So I don't know if I'd recommend it at full price, but on sale maybe. All right. Oh no, and I had. Little comments from people as I'm kind of navigating some stuff here. So Dennis, I have Bismarck Solitaire and Coral Sea Solitaire as well. Yeah, so I have the deluxe ones they sent me. I haven't played them at all, and I never played the book games. If we had a little discussion of that, like a year or so ago, when those book games were sweeping the wargaming community, and I was not into them at all. So I like, as I've said then, and I'll say it again, I want to be able to open a box and play a game. The only thing I maybe provide is dice. I'll bring dice to the table because I got packs and packs and hundreds of dice. I can do that, but I don't want to make counters. I don't want to scan stuff unless I choose to for like player aid reasons. But I want a game to be available. So, but Worthington sent me the Bismarck and Waterloo deluxe editions that are box games. I need to get those played. Way too many games. Steve, sorry to disagree, Wayne. I did not like Hidden Strike at all. Ugh. Solo game was too simple and just not engaging. Well, the two-player game is horribly imbalanced. Gorgeous production, however. Definitely gorgeous production, absolutely. I haven't played the two-player. I could see where there could be a struggle. Man, that's the solo game, though. It clicked for me, and here's the deal. Everyone's different, right? Steve and I, and we talk on videos and comments. Me and him share a lot of the same love of a lot of the same games. But it shows you can disagree. Share a lot of the same games doesn't mean you're going to agree on every game, right? Because I do like Hidden Strike. I would recommend it. It is simple, but I love again, it's the type of game that it almost starts off. I grew to love it, right? I grew to really love it because first couple games, it's like, is there enough here? But once it got fast enough, once the gameplay got fast enough and that sort of decision space just kind of shrunk down for me, it was better, right? Because I was able to quickly act. And because I was able to play so quickly, the fact it was a simple game worked out for me. Like, it was okay. That I didn't even care that it was simple, because for me, that was one of the draws of it at that time. David said Tunisia is great. It's great solo, sadly out of print. That's a bummer. Yeah, anything out of print, not for sale. Steve says White Dog has a lot of good solo games. They do, although nothing. I don't think any holiday sales right now. I don't even know if they did any holiday sales this year. Did they? I didn't see anything. When I checked the website, I didn't. Maybe I'll look again. Magnus asks, Wayne, which was your favorite? I missed that part. If you're talking about Worthington, so if I had to pick one of Worthington that's in stock and you need to buy, right? Like buy right now, looking through their games that are available. Ooh, there's some good ones. And some of these I've played, I've played Antietam and Shiloh. They're very simple, gorgeous production, but very simple hex encounter, I go you go style American Civil War games. You can solo them, but nothing special about them in that sense. That's why I'm not really talking about them. Games like that. Same thing with 1944 Battle of the Bulge. I've covered that on the channel. It's just not. It works solo. It's just, but I wouldn't look at it and say, "Yep, that's the one to get." Out of the games that I kind of been looking at here, man, maybe Soviet. I'm telling you, Soviet Dawn. So if you haven't played Soviet Dawn, what a great States of Siege game. And with this deluxe edition, just magnificent production. If you want a challenging, quickish playing, but super challenging, definitely check out Tarawa 1943. That was one of my top games previously. What was it, last year, the year before? So Tarawa 1943. So between those two, maybe go by topic. What you like, what kind of topic. But either of those are gonna you do well by. So. Howdy Mo, welcome. Just going over our favorite Solitaire games that are available for sale right now. We're looking at generally publishers, but if you see a sale somewhere else, feel free to shout out in the comments. I don't mind. But solo games for sale right now, you can buy right now. It's not sold out or out of print. And then hopefully on a discount. Some maybe you can buy for yourself or someone else, or you can recommend to someone over the next couple weeks here as we close in on the holidays. Brian said, I didn't care for the book game versions of Worthington's Water Solitaire, but the mounted board version is pretty cool. Yeah, and I got that on my shelf. I never noticed that before. It says, I think it's the first time the train's gone by while I'm recording live, and camera's shaking from the train. It's about 2 blocks away. Don't go by. It takes a couple minutes. They don't blow the horn or anything because we're in town, but yeah, smash that like button, everybody. I have a bot that says that can sense if you haven't smashed the like button. If you haven't, it's going to kick you out. Just kidding. Where am I? Hey, Wayne, late again. Just change this to 1, just for me. Yeah, bummer you're late, so I have to go longer than I want to because I'm trying to make sure we're still recording when you show up. Mo says, favorite Solitaire Wargames play because they don't have friends. Yay, exactly. Tarawa, thanks. I've been thinking about Tarawa. I don't know much about it. So Tarawa, right? It's very difficult. It's extremely difficult game to win. I don't know if there's really a real strategy that says, yeah, this is going to help it win. Because I will say, for Soviet Dawn, I have the strategy that I can win the game more often than not. And that's the political track, because they changed it for the deluxe edition and made it easier to win a political victory. And so I can win a political victory, I think like 50% plus at the time. I think when right at the very end of playing Soviet Dawn, like for my review stuff, so you guys know how to do it, right? Like I get a game, put on my table, I film the unboxing, I start playing, I play the crap out of these games probably for like a certain amount of time, right? Some games I can play for 2 days. I'm like, man, I got this down. Some games it takes a little bit longer. Something like trying to think. Well, obviously, a lot of times, like some of these more advanced or more heavier American Civil War games, maybe it takes me longer. When I first started Blind Swords, I was like, scratch, like what the heck? Although I love it now, right? Because it's a very solid medium weight game, like not heavy, but it's a solid medium. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's not easy to learn. It is a solid medium. But anyway, a game like Tarawa, it's so hard, but it's not that hard. It's not that difficult to learn, right? And I just started playing it, and I played the crap out of that game. But something like I was mentioning, Cruel Necessity is too difficult, in my opinion. It's fun, but it's really difficult. Soviet Dawn with the new Worthington version, I like cracked the code on it, and I'm able to win the majority of the time, which For solitaire games, for the most part, you don't want that. Now you can just avoid doing the political victory, and so you can still have fun with it, a lot of fun with it actually. Just be aware that the political victory is kind of it's a way to cheat the game a little bit and get an easier victory. Something like Tarawa, I don't know if anyone's cracked the code on Tarawa. They're luck driven. It is. It's luck driven. It's one of those ones that is a good. It's a good. How do I phrase this? It's not a game you don't think about. You do think, because you have to when you're playing. You have your cards, right? And you have to think about like the best time to play certain ones. But it is definitely luck's part of it. But let's be honest, luck's part of a lot of games. I don't want to. We won't going to get into the luck debate in this one, but trust me, I play plenty of 2-player games where if dice are involved, luck's involved. So. Like, so Steve says, Soviton's great, big step up from Israeli independence. Obviously, yeah, big step up in the complexity. Probably on the lighter side of the Sage of Siege games that are sort of modern ones, but definitely meet there. Other than, like I said, the political victory hack. And then Cruel Necessity, very medium, most excellent. Just really hard, though. Maybe a little too difficult. But a lot of fun. But still a good game overall. Mog and the Knight and the Mog from Wargaming, 2 great ones, both really fun. Yeah, I don't. Great games. I don't like I said. I don't think White Dog's doing a sale this year though, right? I don't remember seeing one. NP, would Nemo's War count as a war game? I believe so. Theme wise, as adventure, but gameplay wise, as much in common with some war games. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm pretty open on the war game definition, especially because like I'm also looking at it like I said war games just because I don't. The title gets too long if I can say also historical games, which not that Nemo Wars is a historical game, but also fantasy and science fiction games that have war game elements in them, right? I mean, I'll play Space Infantry Resurgence from Lock and Load Publishing. In fact, we'll cover Lock and Load here in just a second, but we'll look at their sale. They have a really good sale going on right now. Steve says, no, the book games did it for me. I never played them. Don't want to. No interest. Yeah, I was, I was keeping count on some of these games. I would keep count on my phone, and I don't put it on BGG or anything, but I'll keep count on my phone. And I think Tarawa was like 1-14 at one point or something like that. Oh, see, here's where Mo and I will disagree a lot. So Mo says, they're talking about Tarawa. This is where it feels like a Sage of Siege game. Luck dictates too much for me with it, though. It is fun, but I can only play it once or twice, and it goes away for months. See, that's where I kind of disagree, because I think that's that anti-solitaire bias a little bit going on there, Mo, is thinking that, cause he, in his statement there, feels like an SOS game. So it feels like a States of Siege game. Luck dictates too much. So with his statement, he's implying that all States of Siege games, right, are just luck driven, and there's no decisions to make, and it's just you play them once or twice and you're done. It's just luck fest. Throw some dice and that's it. There's some States of Siege games. In fact, pretty much all of the newer ones, whether you're talking games from Hollandspiel, from White Dog Games, from reprints Worthington are putting out, there's so much more than just luck. Now, luck, again, like I've said, luck is part of every war game, because the war games, as we're playing them, there's dice involved, or even the ones that don't have dice. Say it's a card game, card driven, that doesn't really have dice. Well, what's the luck of the draw? If the deck is stacked a certain way, certain cards come out in a certain order, you're going to do a lot better, right? That's luck. That's entirely luck based. So that part of it is, right? Now, the game itself, what does it give you, right? What levers can you pull to change things? How can you mitigate luck? How can you stack the deck, literally or figuratively, in your favor when it comes to maybe a goal of yours, right? Now, that's whether you're playing a 2-player game, 2-player war game, and you're going to have to roll dice eventually, but maybe you're putting your reserves at a certain point, or you're acting like you're in a certain area, like you're going to attack somewhere and you actually move them somewhere else, right? If it's a hidden information game, clearly. Now you get to solitaire games, same thing. Some are going to be very luck driven, absolutely. And by luck, I mean you move a guy up, the equivalent of you move a guy up, you roll dice, see what happens, move the next guy up, right? But other ones, and many of them, are going to be where you get to make either tactical or strategic decisions that will then influence, luck will influence them, and they will influence the luck of the game, right? And again, bad luck is going to cost you pretty much any game you've ever played, unless it's completely no luck, which again, that means, right, not only no dice, but card drawing, because again, how do you draw those cards could be luck. So there's a lot more to it there than Mo was saying. So he says a big drive for Stage of Siege is the historical narrative that's generated. Obviously, a huge part of the games. Lots of luck. Yes, there's so many rolls I found that luck usually evens out. Right. So the idea of luck is theoretically, right, is you make a certain amount of die rolls. You have curve, and it's going to even out in the end. So if you are doing more rolling, it should even out, right? Good and bad should kind of even out a little bit. Obviously, we've all played games. Most games aren't long enough where that's really going to come to effect. You're going to have better games, worse games. And luck is going to be more than just the dice. It's going to be the cards you draw. Especially States of Siege, right? You're flipping cards. You may now follow historical cards, which I was doing with my Cruel Necessity playthrough, which someone in my comments was like complaining about them. But I'm like, it literally says you can do that. And I like to do that because I was able to learn the history in order that way. It was actually a lot of fun. I wouldn't necessarily do it with every game, but with Cruel Necessity, it worked out pretty well. I did it with David Thompson a little bit. David Thompson do a lot of stuff with a lot of different war games, 2-player, solitaire. David Thompson is one of those guys, one of those designers that's coming into the hobby that is going to be bringing and helping to get people outside of traditional war games, right, to get into the wargaming, historical wargaming, whatever you want to call it, field, right? Get people who are used to playing hobby games and get them more into the idea of playing like a war game, right? Mo says, I have no solitaire bias. I play most everything solo, whether it's 2-player game or solo specific. Well, then we'll just have to disagree on your opinions of States of Siege games. So, because like I said, there are some States of Siege games, and you mentioned the old ones are very luck driven. Well, that's old then. Those are old ones. That'd be like saying, well, the old war games were really simple. Yeah, I mean, I pull tactics on the table. It's gonna be pretty simple. But games nowadays are far in advance of that. And same thing with the States of Siege label, right? Those games, when you're looking at them, and you look at something from Hollenspiel, you look at Stilicho, right? Stilicho, Last of the Romans, from Hollenspiel. It is such a good States of Siege game. And there's cards, and you have to manage. So you have hand management. Generally, drawing cards, it's not drawing cards in the sense of like, oh, the enemy goes, and that's it, right? Like, oh, this activates track 4. No, you also have your own cards to manage. You're doing hand management in addition to activating the opposing forces. Just such an excellent game, and a good production from Hollenspiel with Blue Panther printer, which print on demand style. So sometimes the quality is not always great with them. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's like okay, but that one is really good, and the art's really good on it. That's one of my hidden gems. It's not hidden, but I definitely can recommend that one. But it's on sale. So all right, what else we have to look at here? Oh, I know. How about we look at old Lock and Load. So Lock and Load's got their Christmas sale right now. 50 to 80%. Wow. It's actually pretty good. Really, really good. Looks like you got all month, maybe into January to order. Now, a couple games I was going to recommend on here, I'm like, oh man, sold out. So, for instance, Point Blank V's for Victory. Again, one I covered on my channel. They had sent a copy. I covered it quite a bit. It was 45 down from 130. It says almost gone. It is gone. It's out of stock now. So, unfortunately, Now you want to get into what Lock and Load has for solitaire games. Many great ones. Fortunately, some of them are not like in print anymore. I mentioned Space Infantry Resurgence, which I would definitely recommend. However, they only have the expansion pack on sale right now. I think the base game is out of stock, so it's like, oh, that's a bummer. But you can look at here's a bit of Harvest. I believe comes with either it comes with the Solitaire. I can't remember. I have an unopened copy. My bad. Here's a bit of Harvest here. Lock and Load Tactical. It's, I mean, $45 down from $130. Like that isn't a tremendous deal. And you can get the where is it? Lock and Load Tactical Solo. So I don't remember if it comes with it or not. Do some more research. Do your own research on that to confirm. I know I should remember because I actually did an interview. I had an interview with the OG Wargamer himself here. I had an interview with him looking at the game, but I haven't looked at it since the interview and all that. But check out that. But then the solo module's on sale for $21 down from $60. That's for Lock and Load Tactical, so you want to check that system out. I played it enough to know it's a heavier tactical system, not super heavy, of course. Go with ASL or something like that, but it's heavy enough that look at this rule book here, right? This beast of a rule book. There's a lot to the game, a lot to remember, but it is a big, beautiful production. Big maps, big counters, pre-rounded corners, all that kind of good stuff. So it looks beautiful on the table for sure. And then thinking about Solitaire, obviously with World War 85 storming I see the Storming the Gap expansion pack, and then Solo Assistant for Nations at War, World at War. Again, great prices on these. Honestly. Storming the Gap neoprene mat, great price on that. Things I would recommend. Those are ones I would recommend. I'm not, there's lots here. Look through them. Ones I necessarily don't want to recommend because I don't know enough about them to say. Okay. Yeah, and then you got some Nations at War content down here. So I haven't done Nations at War. I want to. I played what am I thinking of here? So the Nations at War I didn't play, but what am I trying to remember here? Oh, World at War. Yeah, World War 85. I played that when I got the Storming the Gap. Played that quite a bit, and I know I have the Blood and Fury expansion. They are working on right now and kickstarted it, which I backed after I played Storming the Gap. I backed the Blood and Fury expansion on my own money so that I can get in on that right when it comes out. So I'm excited for that one. But otherwise, there's other ones here I know are. So I see some of these ones I wish they still had in stock. A Wing and a Prayer. I would say check out was a Solitaire narrative-driven style, right? Air War, B-17 bomber style. But it's not on here. I didn't think I see it on their website anymore. I don't know if they got rid of it or not going to publish it anymore, just out of stock. I'm not sure. But definitely some good ones over here. So check out Lock and Load Publishing for their Christmas sale, 50-80% off. Quite a few that I would still recommend. And other ones you may just want to look at yourself. But too bad that Point Blank sold out. Man, that was a good deal on that. I would have recommended that all day long. Oh man, too bad. Maybe a couple copies will pop up on there. Yeah, Mo says Lock and Load Tactical is great fun. Yep. Even Solitaire, it's fun with the system. You've got to learn the system. So the bot, right? The solo system is going to be a bot that's you're going to have to play it still, and then the bot will just kind of guide you. So it's not like 100% true solo, but it's definitely enough that I feel in my opinion, and based on my experience and my viewpoint as a solo wargamer, is that it does work well if you're willing to learn the system. It's worth checking out, especially these prices. If you've ever felt like I'm kind of interested in the system, I would definitely check these out. Again, if you're US based, or I don't know what their shipping is, I assume overseas will be a lot more expensive, unfortunately, but something worth checking out. Yeah, I actually played. So Mo says both Lock and Load Tactical and Nations of War are digital on Steam as well. I played Lock and Load Tactical. I didn't play Nations of War on Steam. I played Lock and Load Tactical quite a bit on Steam. Sort of quite a bit. I mean, I don't know, maybe a dozen hours. And then I made a couple videos doing it, but the videos weren't super popular, so I stopped doing that. which honestly, that's how I like to do it. I like to do, you know, on the board, on the table style videos, right? All right, and then for, I think the last one we'll cover here directly is DVG. So DVGs, and this is the one I would probably, based on the percentage of the discount and such, and then kind of their games, I'd probably, sorry, DVG, recommend it the least, only because of the discount. So what you have to do is you have to find this code. So you can see these DVG Holiday 10, DVG Holiday 20, DVG Holiday 30 here that Kelsey, who works for DVG, posted in the Dan Verson Games group. You have to enter that code. It's 10% off $100 purchase, 20% off $200, 30% off $300. Those aren't huge discounts, and then the prices for the games are going to be full price, right? So something like Corsair Leader here, it's going to be $109 to $110, right? So if you use a code on it, I guess what would it be? You'd get 10% off. So you'd still spending $100 on Corsair Leader. That's a little pricey, in my opinion. But if you're going to spend a lot of money, getting 30% off, that's starting to be a decent little discount. So just keep that in mind. That's why I'm like, I'll mention it just because there is a sale. Wouldn't recommend it unless you're spending a lot of money based on the cost. But man, obviously DVG, many wonderful Solitaire war games. I love Spruance Leader. Spruance Leader is one of the newest releases of theirs. Fantastic leader game. Much different. It's Dean Brown designed it. Much different than many of the other leader games, although I can recommend all day. I'll say you want to get looking for your first DVG game and first leader game, check out Hornet Leader. Hornet Leader, absolutely wonderful. Love the look of it. Love how it plays. Super simple. The easiest to get into of the leader games. One of the first ones, so it makes sense. But some of the later leader games, as fun as they are, I opened up. What was the last one that I opened up that I was like, oh my god, Zero Leader maybe? I was like, this is a lot of content. Almost too much content. Not really, right? You get what you pay for. You pay a lot for them, but you get a lot. But man, there's a lot to the game. And it can almost be overwhelming, especially if you're newer, or even me who's experienced a lot of leader games. It can be a little overwhelming. Something like Hornet Leader, fewer counters, fewer missions, fewer cards, but that's good. You get into it and you can play easier. You don't have to make all these decisions and choose from 50 different pilots, sorting 500 counters that you're going to be drawing from cups. Instead, it's really boiled down. Or really, it started off this way and then it got added to over time and became much more. But something like Hornet Leader, always recommended to newer wargamers, people who want to get into war games, or people who are wargamers that play other games, maybe they play Hex and Counter. They want to try dedicated Solitaire designs. Hornet Leader, and also once you learn it, it's going to guide you and it's going to give you that advantage and a step up to get into other leader games. Now something like Spruance Leader, more complicated, but a lot different too, different type of map. And let me see if I can pull it up here. Where was that bad boy at? Trying to figure out how I can search around here. We're not the best design website either. Sorry, guys. Warfighter, of course, if you're interested in that. I'm not a huge Warfighter fan. I'm not anti-Warfighter. I just haven't really covered it on my channel. I'll play it on and off, but I don't see it. I wonder if it's not available here or available on their website. So but Spruance Leader is one that I absolutely love. That I don't know. I'm not going to search through and try to find it. But Spruance Leader from DVG is one that is more in depth, more to the game. It is not just Hornet Leader. It's not just something like Thunderbolt Apache Leader, which, by the way, those do have different kind of setups and how the game runs. So not even the exact same, right? Thunderbolt Apache Leader is going to be sort of you're setting up like a small hex grid and having little terrain features versus something like Hornet Leader, Corsair Leader, Zero Leader, right, is going to be an area map that are coming in. That terrain doesn't impact it at all. But anyway, Spruance Leader has a lot more mechanisms, a lot more in depth. Looking at that, Cold War gone hot style. It's I had a lot of fun with that one when I picked that up. Was it last year? Just a blast. A lot to learn and enjoy with that one, and definitely recommend that one. So, DVG sale again. You gotta get the code here. Use one of these codes, and then you got to spend a lot of money at the sale. I don't know if I'd fully recommend it, other than just saying, hey, DVD has a lot of great games in general. So if you do find them on sale, definitely some good ones to pick out. All right. All right. All right. Look at some comments here. For DVG, I'm waiting for the Guadalcanal Henderson field game. Absolutely. From Vincent. I can't remember his last name. Sorry, Vince. He usually pops in on these a lot of times. So I'll bring this over here. Oh no, Brian asked, is DVG's Field Commander Napoleon worthwhile? So actually, that's the one Field Commander I haven't played, just because I have no interest in Napoleonics. Zero. As of right now, anyway. Could always change in the future, but as of right now, 0% interest. Rommel is good, and Alexander are good. Very, abstracted. Alexander especially very abstracted. It just it feels like a game, just like almost like could be not a war game style kind of game, but you have fun with them. It's Vincent. Oh man, I can't remember. Can't remember his name. Feel bad. Comes in here all the time. Sorry, buddy. Leader or Israeli Air Force leader to begin with. I could see that. I never played IAF, but I could see where it'd probably be. I could see that. I think it has that a little bit more content than Hornet Leader, but I could see that kind of a more entry level in the Leader series. Field Commander Lee is upcoming. Oh, I'm looking for that one. Looking forward to that one. Absolutely. I can't wait for that one. Once I have Phantom Leader Deluxe, and I really dig it. Yeah, so it's a great one as well. Very popular. Very popular. It's along with Thunderbolt Apache Leader, right? Has that that aspect to it. I know I want to think Phantom Leader Deluxe. I played it a little bit. I did get to the point, and I do get to the point where I'm like, I don't need to own every leader game. So I have over time sold off, traded away, whatever, a bunch of my leader games. And I've kept kind of the few core ones. So I talk about Hornet Leader all the time. I've kept it. I love it. Fluence Leader I still have. I have, well, I can dig through it right now, but I have one or two more. Thunderbolt Apache Leader. But Phantom Leader Deluxe, I only played that a little bit, and I was like, okay, that's, but I know it does have its fans for sure. Oh, Magnus, see ya if you haven't gone yet. See you next time. NPS, I really like Field Commander Napoleon. Only issue I have is that it lacks replayability on each campaign. But if you play it once in a while, it's not a huge issue. Yeah, there's games like that, right, where you play them and then you get new things going on, and then it's like, okay, I'm done with it. Like I played it, but you don't need to get rid of the game, because when you come back to it 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, something like, oh man, this one's a blast. I think of one of my entry level Hex Encounter Solitaire Wargames, sci-fi wargame, Invaders from Dimension X from Herman Lubman, Tiny Battle Publishing. It has, what is it, 2 maps, 2 scenarios, super and you play basically each one once, you're pretty much good. Except you come back to that once a year. Play it once a year, you'll have a blast, and then put it away. And then hit it up next year. Steve says War Diary has Blade and Bow now on sale, 50% off. It's better than Dawn of Battle, same designer. Yeah, so I had Dawn of Battle. I've covered on my channel from Worthington. I enjoyed it. Not perfect, but enjoyed it. Definitely did not replace Great Battles of History for me. I don't know if anything ever will. Blade and Bow I picked up full price, so I bought that full price, and I saw it's on sale, 50% off. So that's, good call on that one, Steve. War Diary. So go check out War Diary. We'll pull it up here. So War Diary here. Holiday sale, Blade and Bow, Ancient World War. Yeah, mine's unopened yet. I need to open it. And then looks like some other ones are for sale as well, maybe. Unless it's, or is it just holiday sale? Okay, so it's Blade and Bow is the only one for sale. So Ancients Warfare, which I love. Ancients Warfare games. I need to actually get this one played. Just too many games. Too many games out there. But last, anyone talk about the Thermopylae game from DVG? So the Valiant Heroes, I think it is, the Valiant Heroes series. So I asked DVG to send me that series. They said they would. I haven't received them yet. But if I do, I will definitely cover, at least one of the games. So it seems like they're a card, I guess, like a tower defense style, tactical, but card based, but very, very simple. I'm gonna talk about luck. If Mo wants to go on about luck in games and solitaire games, I feel like from what I've seen, these games are very luck driven and are going to be the definition of like quick dice chucker card flipper over game that you just play for a little bit, play for 20 minutes, maybe play a couple times in a row, and then wrap it up, and then you get to like a real game or a heavier game. Without having played them, that's what the impression I have of them. Hopefully, I'll get some copies in though, so I can give a educated opinion on it. Yeah, the old ones, not the new ones. There, Mo. Man, you're pushing it, Mo. You're pushing it right out of the chat, right out of the channel, and temporary ban. I'm one of those that does have all the leader games. Isn't one that seems the same with the others to me. Oh, and I respect that. So, I'm a huge fan of the leader series. I think the leader games from DVG are like just such a great game to both. You can give a leader game if the topic interests somebody to a non-war gamer, right? Someone just plays hobby games and has maybe the most passing of interest in war games. I mean, you want some interest, right? You get armed fighters or tanks or have armored battalions and a Sherman leader or something. But you can give those games people interested in history and some of the conflicts in history, and they can get into it. And I've seen the leader games covered on the Dice Tower by Tom Vassell. I can't remember which game it was he was talking about. I don't know if it was Hornet Leader or not. But it was on. I mean, literally, it's, the guy playing Euro games, Ameritrash, all kind of card games, all these things, and here he is playing a DVG game right on the Dice Tower. Absolutely love that. So that's the type of game that not only can you give that to someone who is not a traditional wargamer to play, you can also, as a wargamer, you can play it and have fun. It's not a simulation, but you're getting that. Parts of real life or parts of these conflicts, right? Or imaginary conflict or potential conflict, Cold War conflict, Spruance Leader, right? But you get to game that idea. You get to game that history. You're playing Corsair Leader or Zero Leader. When you play Zero Leader, the way the game works, and you do a campaign in that one, you start off, your zeros are kicking butt. You are knocking down Allied aircraft and pilots left and right. And as the war goes on, as the campaign goes on, and the Allies get better and better fighters, suddenly you're not the king of the skies anymore, right? Suddenly you're getting shot down by superior fighters, superior pilots, superior technology. And as you lose your pilots, right, then you lose your experienced ones, and suddenly you have your newbies, right, and you don't have your veteran pilots anymore. And so something like Zero Leader does have that historical aspect of it, not just the counters, right, and having it, this is the armament or this is the fighter that was involved, but actually kind of experiencing that arc of the Pacific theater of World War II. So Zero Leader is another good one I would recommend, as long as you're interested in the topic. Again, with the leader games, I'm big on like pick a topic, right? Because you're going to be so immersed in it, especially if you're doing long campaigns, picking pilots, naming people, naming these things. You're like keeping track of stuff. Like you probably want to really get in the theme, right? It's the leader games are not only as much, the prepping of your squadron or of your men as, the actual fighting, right? The tactical fighting on the battle mat. but also just sort of that building a narrative, right? They're not narrative driven games, but that building of a narrative is a huge part of leader games, right? And that's the more in depth it is, the more you're going to have that. And so I think you're right that like you can have all of them and you're going to enjoy it. For me personally, I'm just like, because there is, each one is like a ton of content. It's almost too much for me to just own them all. I'll never play them all, other than play a little bit. Like I said, kind of that's how it is. I think I've owned if not all, then damn near all leader games. I think I have owned all of them, and I played all of them or almost all of them. And then I'm like, okay, I'm good now. Other than a select few, I'm like, no, these I'm gonna keep around because I know I'm gonna be able to put some time into them. But otherwise, you could buy all the leader games and play them all and cover different theaters, different areas, and you would have hundreds of hours of gameplay, hundreds of hours of gaming you could do with the leader games. Another great thing that you can, when you recommend people, because it's not just you play out one battle on one board and you're done, right? Like a lot of hex and counter games, right? Instead, it's something that's going to have almost infinite replayability. Picked up A Glorious Chance by Legion Wargames. Heard it has a Butterfield level AI in terms of robustness. Interesting. Okay, so I've not played that. Glorious Chance by Gina Willis. Is that what we're talking about? Heard it Butterfield level AI in terms of robustness. So worth checking out, maybe. Look into it yourselves. Like I said, I haven't played it myself, but obviously it could be worth checking out. David says Chuck Seegert is very passionate about his Zero and Stuka Leader games. Always there if you have a question. Yeah, and like I did a lot of work with Zero Leader, a lot of videos on Zero Leader. So check those out if you're interested. Again, it was such a good game and one of the better rule books that DVG has put out lately, and they've struggled with that in some of their games lately. But that one works really well. It's one reason I like Hornet Leader. I'm always like Hornet Leader, because the rule book is basically, it's simple, but the game is simple enough that it just works. Stuka Leader, I've heard there was some problems with the rulebook, maybe some cards and stuff. I don't know. I don't have a copy. I haven't played it yet. Mike Brittisell, I've got one coming out soon. Of course you do. Mike. All right. So if anyone has any suggestions for any games on sale you've seen, Solitaire Wargames you've seen on sale, publisher sale, or maybe retailer sale. I only did publishers in this video. I usually only do. So same thing with last year when I did my publisher sale. I didn't do any retailers. There's retailers you can find, American retailers, overseas, Europe, England. But I just kind of leave that to you guys to kind of find on your own. But publishers, I like to show off their games from their websites. Doesn't mean you're necessarily going to buy from their website, but at least gives you an idea. You can start looking there. But if anyone has any recommendations, pop them in the chat right now. Maybe we'll take a look, or just people can see it. I think between, the sales you're seeing, the sales that have already been, right? So we missed some, unfortunately, right? Like there's been, GMT had their great sale. Who am I thinking of? There was someone else I was thinking of that I was like, man, that was a big sale. Revolution Games had a really nice sale. That's over with as well. Otherwise, we'd look at them because they have some excellent games. But or someone like DVG, right? Their publisher sale, I don't know if I'd call it that great of a deal, really, unless you're spending hundreds of dollars. Then you get 30% off. So, worth checking out at least. But Mike. I've been saying hi to Mike. Yeah, just it's a good time to be a wargamer. Good time to be a solitaire wargamer too. A lot of great games coming. A lot of great games on sale right now. A lot of great games to be coming out soon. And we're gonna be covering them on the channel for sure. So I think that's it. Hour and a half. That's enough of me. I think my throat's going here. We got to wrap it up. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming out and chatting and checking out the games. So appreciate it, everybody. Anything you maybe think of you want to post in the comments after this video is done, feel free to. Let people know what's on sale right now, what they can pick up. Solitaire Wargames, lots of great ones. Oh man, in the channel we got lots of good content coming. lots more games we're covering. I got videos that I've produced, and they're uploaded and they're just waiting to be published. And I've got more games coming in. I got Halls of Hegra over here. That I am just learning, just starting to play. So I'll have a video series coming out probably after I'm done with the Conquering the Valley video series. Those are all in the bag, all in the can, all done, just waiting to be published. And then after Halls of Hegra, we'll see what I got. But I got shoot, what is it now? Can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of it, but you know what? That's okay. That's all right. Whoa. There was quite the sale at Miniature Market where you could pick up Plum Island Horror for about $45 shipped. Good Lord. I backed it for P500 just to show my support, but whoo-wee. Can't beat that price, huh? We saw part of a nice stream. Enjoy the holidays and on to 2024. Exactly. Enjoy your holidays. Play some games. Spend some time with the family. I know us solitaire war gamers, we don't like people, but hopefully if there's someone you like, spend some time with them. David, thanks for a great episode. Hey, thank you for coming. Everybody, thank you so much for coming out here and chatting with me, sharing your thoughts. Steve, you're a marvelous host, Wayne. Always enjoy these chats. Like, trying to butter me up. Steve. I see how it is. Now, hey, I appreciate it, everybody. Go get those games played. Have some fun. Roll some dice. And I think we're out of here for now. So until next time, everybody. Later.